I had one too.
Oh, there we go. Okay. I would like to call this meeting to order, and I would like us to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance, to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So let us start by looking for a motion to accept the regular meeting minutes held on the 8th of March. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, Mark Doniker. Second is Cindy Rumsey. Is there any discussion, comments, questions, corrections? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say no. Minutes carry to approve the minutes. I would like to note that Mark Crary will not be making the meeting. He is out of the village. All right, I would like to open up this time for public comment. Is there any public comment? Is there anyone from the public on? No? Okay. Hearing none, we will close public comment and go on to the report of public works. So Roger, do I need to pull up your...
I've got it in my hand. I don't know if you guys have it.
Can you share it?
Yeah, let me grab that. Am I in the right? General water. Why don't I have your report? Sorry. Let me get that because Crystal sent that.
It was in the earlier message.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. I'm not sure why I'm not. There it is. All right. Roger's report and DPW. And go back to Zoom and share. And oh, where is it? Under the... There it is. And, nope, that's not it. I'm sorry. I'm not sure why it's not kicking up. Let me try once more. This is a PDF. Okay.
Hopefully it won't be long. We'll be able to.
Yeah. Yes.
I just can't figure it out half the time.
How's that? Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. There you go, Roger.
Last of the day activities, which is the month of March, we're flooding skating rink and cleaning roadside ditches. We haven't done much of that, only for weep holes from the rain. We did a little bit of shoulder work, not a lot. Plow and sand as needed, blow sidewalks as needed, drag ski trails. We cut some branches. Not working on the dirt section of Elm Lake Road right now. They are plowing it, but we haven't had to work on it.
Okay.
And we fixed a few potholes. We got a lot to do. And
So, Roger, are you seeing a lot of sections within Elm Lake Road that will need repair after this winter?
we've got quite a few potholes, and I know we've got a cut along the road by Denny Brooks that has to be fixed, and that bump by Charlie Johns, I want to cut down a little bit and fix that.
Okay.
But I'm not going to pave Elm Lake Road this year.
Okay.
Okay, next month, plow and sand as needed, hopefully not needed. Cut hanging branches, clean ditches, start our road sweeping, garbage and recyclables, take down skating rink, blow sand off the sidewalk while we sweep, work on Elm Lake Road dirt section if we can get in there if it's not too muddy, shoulder work and fix potholes. And the month after that, pretty much the same stuff, roadside ditching, work on the beach, work on the parking lot at the beach, work on third section Elm Lake Road. We'll probably be able to get in there by then. Work on the point, garbage, recyclables, ditches, branches all the time. We're doing that. Potholes, and pick up discarded trash along the road after everything's all thawed out.
Okay. Roger, when you mention the beach and the point, you are mentioning that in relation to the Fema work that needs to be done, correct?
At the beach, the wall at the point, and the parking lot crossing the beach.
Okay. Within that, will you be able to replace the scouring for Marion Avenue culvert by June 19th?
I forgot to put that on my list. We should be able to by June 19th. I don't see why we won't.
Okay, as we go forward, we'll see in the old business, we have a deadline of June 19th to complete our project. So I think we need to touch base to determine if we at least need a little wiggle room for the beach and the point to make sure that you are able to get all of your supplies and materials on deck to be able to complete that by the 19th.
Now, how soon do you have to file for an extension?
Well, we would have to file within the next couple weeks.
Okay.
It's just a safeguard.
Yeah, well, it probably wouldn't hurt to file for an extension for the beach and the point, because the stuff for the parking lot we pretty much got. Maybe Marion Avenue, because I don't know how much money I'm gonna have until the new budget goes through, but some of that FEMA money came through. I don't know how that works.
Yes. Yep. Okay. Okay. Any questions, any additional questions for Roger? And Roger, I'm sorry, I just cut you off. Is there anything additional?
I was gonna say, if the weather cooperates, we should be able to get all four of them done before June.
Okay.
My plan, which is what I hope, but probably wouldn't hurt just in case, a little bit of a buffer.
Okay. And it really would be great if you can finish the beach by that first weekend in June, because they're going to have the water plane fly-in.
Right.
I just have a question. How many HEO applications have we received, Roger?
You're not going to take 4. You didn't get a scorecard. They were in there.
Does someone need to go on mute? We're hearing some chatter. Crystal, if you're able to mute.
I can't mute.
Oh, okay.
Do we know how many? Is the question. I didn't go.
So how many applications have we received for the HEOR position?
4 so far.
4. Okay. And we can start interviewing those people after this week, correct? Because we are going to put it in the paper for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think this week is the last week it runs.
Okay, so next week we will begin looking at the applicants for to fill the HEOR position vacated by Wayne Lucas's retirement. Okay, any questions, comments?
I still have a little bit more on my report here.
Oh, I'm sorry, Roger.
I just have my chips.
There you go. Yep, I'm sorry.
I'm still looking into what roads I'm gonna do. It depends on the money, so it'll probably be a couple short ones. I'm in the process of trying to figure out which ones are the worst of the 3.
Okay, and which 3 are those?
Brooks Avenue. I don't know. Oak Mountain Drive, and
Oh yeah, you had said Oak Mountain.
maybe Black Bear Run.
Okay.
I always forget the names of them because I call them Sewer Plant Road.
Yep.
And
But I thought we had done Black Bear.
the one part of it has been done.
Okay, all right.
Okay, and the truck that we ordered should be coming in this month, I've been told. And I think we're all good on culverts. We might have to call in a little item 4. And we're still doing our COVID thing, of course. And Friday, the 19th of March, we posted our 6-ton weight limit on all the village roads.
Okay.
No need until further notice, until the frost comes out and everything is sound and not soft.
Great.
Roger, just make sure I know Ed's going to be doing hopefully some repair work to the water mains near Black Bear Run. Just make sure you coordinate
Right.
with him.
Right.
Might be
Like
the fall or
that, I
something.
mean, we make allowances for Eldridge, of course, and for the garbage truck because, so we're usually pretty good at letting people get what and I'm sure we'll be able to get over there and do with the water that we have to do and whatever.
Good. Roger, I was going to ask you to confirm that the proposed sidewalk snow removal machine would be covered by CHIPS, and is there any issue to leasing?
He said if you lease to own, he said he doesn't know about leasing or renting to turn it back in, but if you lease to own, he says he's sure that we could do it that way, or we could do a lump sum. And he said he's not 100% sure, but he thinks it should be covered 100% under CHIPS. He had me send a little bit of a spec sheet just so he could see it. He's going to send it to Albany, and he said he'll get back to me in a few days. I haven't heard nothing, but he said he doesn't see a problem.
Okay, if you can make sure that you follow up with him during this week so that we can finalize our budget accordingly.
I can do.
Yeah, it would be leased, own, or finance over X amount of years. I'm still waiting for the exact prices from the vendor. Hopefully tomorrow. He was supposed to send them on Saturday.
Okay.
He never did.
And he said there shouldn't be a problem with leasing it to own or buying it outright, whichever we wanted to do.
Okay. All right. And I think that's it. And you have a listing of everything that is stockpiled related to COVID pandemic sorts of materials, correct?
I don't have a list like that. I can make one.
Yeah, we'll need the exact stockpile list, and
We
yes.
don't have any stone dust or anything yet, but it's
Oh no, I'm sorry, for PPE.
yeah.
Yeah. So for the personal protective equipment, cleaner, sanitizer, things like that, we need an ongoing list for stockpile.
Right.
Rotating list.
Stop over tomorrow and go through it again with her.
Great. Yeah. Make sure that that's all up to date because the requirements of COVID are the requirements of FEMA are very specific as far as vendors, numbers of materials per carton, how much gets stockpiled and how much is in use. So that would be very much appreciated. All right. Any questions, Cindy or Rebecca, for Roger?
Nope.
All right,
Nope.
Roger, thank you.
I have one question.
Oh, sure.
You sent me an email about a boat going to the beach.
Yes.
I think will probably still be on the lake. They still want that boat down there,
They would need a boat by April 1st.
but I don't know if the ice will be out.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
if the ice will go out,
well, the reason for the boat is for the nuisance permit. So what I'll do is if they require it for the ice melts or the ice is kind of choppy, we'll contact you specifically then. But a rowboat is available, correct?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to go out till at least halfway through April, even more. It's pretty thick and it's,
Something like that.
Okay. All right.
Put it down there with the ice and everything. They're not going to be using it until the water goes or the ice goes out. That's all.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
That's it for Roger.
Have a good evening.
You too. Okay, so next is the clerk treasurer's report. Crystal, do you have anything you want me to show on the screen? Not yet?
Well, if you want to show I'll start with the budget. It's
Okay.
not a whole lot to say about it since we had all of our public workshops.
Oh.
So, as I hope all of you saw, I did send out the tentative budget for all three funds today, updated ones. they'll also be included as an attachment to the minutes for tonight. As you may notice, many of the budget accounts have remained the same since our budget workshops. There are only a few modifications. Actually, they're kind of good modifications, so we're doing pretty well. In the general fund, the estimated revenues was added for auctioning the excess equipment for DPW. Roger didn't find a Kelly Blue Book value, but I'm not really sure who he spoke with, honestly, but he estimated the value at about probably $3,000 for the two. So that was added. After a conversation with the state on the beach permitting, we can't get a permit that will allow only swim at your own risk type of beach. But after a discussion with Jeanette, I did reduce the lifeguards from 4 lifeguards at 5 days a week to 2 lifeguards 4 days a week to cover the weekends. I think the thought was Thursday through Sunday, and then a 1,000 extra for any extra days maybe we possibly need for that.
Right, so July 4th, if that falls on a Monday.
Like July 4th. That reduces the expenditures by about $5,000. We were budgeting for the new hires. We had put in an excess amount to be safe on the safer side. After discussion, Jeanette and I reduced that I reduced it by $1 per hour. It's not much, but it does leave us with only a $731 difference if we still appropriate $20,000 to be balanced. So we're really close.
So we're only looking for an additional $731.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, and the HEO category was not reduced, correct?
Correct. Which I actually had a thought, and we do have $10,000 budgeted in the contingent, so we could just kind of reduce that by the same amount, and then we would be balanced.
I think I'd rather not at this point. I think I'd rather try and find it within the budget if the board is in agreement with that.
I mean, we don't have really much else we can take from, we have those, so a couple of could get rid of, take out of the budget this year. There was the sign for the point. I didn't take that one out yet, or not the point, the pavilion. We were estimating that sign to be like 500 to 700, so we could probably take that out. And then we had talked about earlier possibly taking one of the tables, like the newer tables, the handicap tables out of the budget and just doing one.
The other ones aren't handicapped, they're regular tables. I'll get you a price on them tomorrow.
Okay.
It's less than the handicap table.
I think if we can get some actual prices in there of the bear can, the double size bear can for the pavilion and the table, I think that should be enough to knock it down by $731.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
In the water fund, that's really all for the general fund. If anybody has any questions, no? Okay. For the water fund, there was just an addition of $1,300 for the extra courses that might be needed. The water fund remains balanced right now.
Crystal, this just to keep it top of mind, recovering up the water main on the Sagandaga River due to the Halloween storm is not included. It's not been budgeted. All right, so that would be part of a plan that we would have in place to seek funding outside.
Correct.
And see how we can do that, possibly through the USDA or another means, and perhaps roll in the outstanding bond that we have with USDA that's at a very, very high premium.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just so that we have that rolled somewhere.
Yep.
Thank you.
In the sewer fund, Ed and I added a tentative amount of $5,000 to the to one of the contractual codes for the pump station services he was talking about. They gave it a rough estimate of about 3,000, but we put in 5 just to be on the safer side. And then additionally, I heard from EFC, and depending on when the project is actually completed, we'll most likely start paying the loan in September of this year. I did adjust that accordingly in the budget, and that remains balanced as well.
Okay.
I mean, those are really it for updates on the different accounts. And
so then at the next board meeting, you and Ed will be able to present the 30-year plan for the water and wastewater budget.
We'll present what we can.
Yeah. Okay.
Also at that meeting, the next meeting will be the public hearing for the budget. As it's usually scheduled at that first meeting in April that we have. We should probably plan to meet partially in person and partially by Zoom, public hearing, so we can allow people, allow for more people to be in the be here.
And the CDC has said that the 6-foot separation can be reduced to 3 feet, so we can increase the number of people in the village hall.
Right. Which increases it to like maybe 7 people instead of 5.
I gotcha.
Maybe 8. Maybe we can squeeze another person in there. I'll also have these tentative budgets posted to the website to make that available for the public viewing, for the public to review before the meeting, the next meeting.
Okay.
So
paper copies will be available if they come to the office?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, good. Any questions, comments on the budget, the preliminary budget as Crystal has provided? No? Crystal, great job bringing that budget into balance. That's great. And thank you for the participation in the workshops and for the superintendents on really going and trying to make the best of the budgeting process. So that's been great.
It definitely works really well when we have those. So
yeah. Park Prairie, wherever you are.
Yeah. I don't think I really have anything else for the moment. Not anything else to put up, I should say. I have about like 5 other things to discuss.
All right, go ahead.
So the general village elections was held on March 16th, 2021. It resulted in a total of 65 votes counted. There was only 1 election district. In the village of Speculator, no special canvass of votes was required. However, the following is a list of election results that will be included in these minutes for the history of the village. Mm-hmm. For mayor, Jeanette Barrett had 53 votes. Cheryl Pasella had 3 votes. Shorty Hoffman had 1 vote. Bobby Lynn Hoover had 1 vote, and Karen McComb had 1 vote. For trustees, James Jim Rumsey had 52 votes. Mark Donaker had 51 votes. Bobby Lynn Hoover had 5 votes. Kevin Schoonmaker had 2 votes. David McComb had 1 vote. Chris Morrison had 1 vote, and Cheryl Pasella had 1 vote. The general election resulted in the election of Jeanette Barrett as mayor to serve a 2-year term, and Mark Donaker and James Jim Rumsey as trustees to serve a 2-year term, commencing on April 5th, 2021, in accordance with the statute. Any comments or questions?
No, I'd like to thank the public that came out and voted. I think it's really important for us to participate in that, and congratulations to Mark Doniker and Jim Rumsey for serving as trustees in the upcoming term.
Moving on, we received the annual analysis from the fiscal stress monitoring system, or for the fiscal stress monitoring system. Our fiscal stress score, say that 10 times fast, which is determined from our annual update document, continues to be the same as last year and the year before, which is a 3.3, and has no designation. Our environmental stress designation, which is based on the impact of the environment around us, i.e. the population, businesses, etc., all that in our area, increased from 33.3 to 36.7, but we still remain in that susceptible environmental stress designation, just meaning that we're, susceptible to our fiscal stress is susceptible to the environment around us.
So, Crystal, does that include the impact that we had financially from COVID? The effect on businesses,
well, not necessarily, because they review our last filed annual report in order to get our fiscal stress. So I don't think it really have much of the COVID time in there, except for the first couple of months of that. So, or last couple of months of that last fiscal year. If anybody's interested, I can, in reading up more on that, I can forward you the email that I received with our information. Last Friday, I had an annual meeting with the PERMA rep and Kevin Townsend from ESA Insurance to go over the 2020-21 review. It's really the review from last fiscal year, not the current one. Nothing had really changed from the previous year. We just updated some contact information. We only had one claim, as we've had, in years past. So there wasn't really much except for the fact that I got to meet the person through Zoom. We've only ever talked on the phone or in email, so that was kind of nice. Did you want to put up the proposal for Williamson Law Books, Jeanette, or do you want to?
I can do that. Let me fix that for just a second. I just had it up there. Okay. No, this is close the log. Okay, so okay, everybody see that?
So I should preface this by saying that we do have all of this budgeted in our budget for the 21-22 year. But when I was thinking about it, we really wanted to roll at least the tax at a glance look up and the credit card billing out with the next tax season, which goes out June 1st. So I contacted Williamson Law Books asking if we could get it all built and together and ready to, ready to go for June 1st and then be credited invoiced in after June 1st for it to go on next year's next year's fiscal year. They had no problem with that. They just need us to approve and sign them and send back the proposal, and then we can start getting to work on building that stuff. There's some things that do take a little bit of time, like contacting the credit card company or the credit like the credit card, what we would use for the credit card company to collect our payments, as well as putting something on our website. On our website for people to sign up for the email billing option. So that could be on there for a while.
So the tax at a glance, that would be available for email? No. Yes.
No, it would just be a lookup on our website.
Okay.
The water sewer billing would be an email, email billing option.
Right.
Yeah.
And so for the tax at a glance, would people have to sign up in advance to be able to pay online?
No.
Okay. No, and credit tax bills go out June 1st?
Yes.
And is there an opportunity to put a note that credit, debit, e-check payment interface will be available? No.
Well, I guess we could, but really, like, what goes on the tax bill is our statement of when things are due and everything.
Okay.
I'll have to look at that to see.
Because that's something that we would really like to have publicized.
Right. I mean, yeah, we'll get it out there. I was planning on, I'll have it on the website. We're going to have it on the water sewer bills, like the May ones that go out. And then, we can put some stuff up around the village.
Okay.
Make a little thing. I don't know. I'd rather not spend money to put it in the paper, but we could.
Crystal, would they modify their proposal to say that this would be ready for June 1st tax billing cycle and be with us being billed in June?
Sure, I can ask her.
Yeah, I think that would be important to do. So are they looking for a resolution from the village to move forward with this?
They need the signed proposal to move forward.
So this is the proposed budget that is not yet approved, that would not be approved for another 3 weeks. So in order for them to move forward, we would need a motion from the board accepting their proposal for water quick pay, water sewer email billing option, tax at a glance, and credit card payment through the website to be built in the 2020-2021 fiscal year and then billed in the 2021-2022 fiscal year. May I have a motion to that effect?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I'll make a motion.
Okay, Mark Doniker, second.
Second.
All right, Rebecca, seconds. Any questions, comments? I think my only comment is to have their proposal modified to reflect that they would build it in the 2021 year and that it would be ready to launch by June 1st and that we would get billed in June 2021.
Yep.
All right, so all in favor of that motion with that modification, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Okay. Just another couple of things. Last Thursday, Tracy and I participated in a webinar on conducting meetings now and down the road, offered by NICOM. It went over the open meeting law, parts of it that were suspended to the governor's executive orders for COVID, and what we may be able to expect in the coming month. A lot of it was a kind of a refresher for both of us, but it was really good to hear how opening back up could impact how we're doing things right now and honestly bring us back hopefully to reality.
Yeah.
So let's see, just another couple things. Tracy and I were able to sit down actually during election day. While we had so much time on our hands, we sat down and actually went in the back room and we kind of made a plan, a more decisive plan on organizing the files.
Right.
Tracy's going to start with the lobby files while I'm, the first week of April, I'm going to be gone on vacation. So she's going to do that while I'm gone, or start on it. And then afterwards, we would like to contemplate closing the office on April 16th and April 30th, which are 2 Fridays. They're a couple weeks apart, so that we can kind of see how much we can get done in 2 days and then assess how many other days we might need to organize things after that. I think we have a pretty good plan now, so it might not take us too long. The hardest part is going to be, having to go through some things as far as, what's needed and stuff like that to keep and all that. So that's sort of our plan for that. We drew a nice little diagram of the background. So, like I just said, the first week of April, I'm going to be on vacation, but Tracy will still be in the office from 9 to 1. And then that's it for me.
All right. Any questions, comments for Crystal?
The 2 reports, financial and abstract.
Yep. Okay. So I'd like a motion to approve the financial report number 9.
Yeah, I didn't sign it, so I can't.
I so moved.
Okay. Second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Okay.
All opposed say no. All abstain. Mark Doniker?
Aye.
Okay. So motion carries to approve the financial report number 9. And I'm looking for a motion to approve abstract number 20.
I moved.
Mark Doniker, second.
Second.
Rebecca, any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor to approve abstract number 20, say aye.
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 All opposed, say no. Any abstentions? Motion carries to approve the payment of abstract number 20. Okay, under old business.
I'm gonna head out. So.
All right, and my sincere condolences on the loss in your family and safe travels.
Thank you.
Bye, Crystal.
Bye.
All right, so I will do a quick share screen. And this is the update from the Department of Health. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. What we do have at the present time is we have a very strong number of people who have been vaccinated within Hamilton County, which is really great. It appears to put us near the top of the chart for the percent of people who are vaccinated. Our small size helps us there. And of course, our small size hurts us if we get a report of an outbreak or a COVID report. The things to note are twofold. One is Johnson & Johnson vaccine has arrived. There are approximately 100 doses the last time I checked with Department of Public Health. They are reserving that for people who are homebound or people who have mobility issues. Any interested resident should contact Public Health if they are under the age of 60, and if they are under the age of 65, and if they are 65 or over, they should contact the Department of Aging. The fail-safe is to contact Supervisor Betsy Bain, because the town supervisors are creating lists and providing them to the Department of Public Health. So that's good news for our county. COVID testing continues, as well as different clinics. So April 12th is at Lake Pleasant Fire Department. April 12th, also in the morning, is at Indian Lake at the Stewarts. There's testing April 13th at Long Lake Town Hall in the morning, and also in Wells Community Hall at the same time, and then Wednesday at Inlet. So that's good news. Some of the venues, social gatherings that are changing is that people will be able to host approximately 100 people let me do that again. People will be able to host 100 people indoors and up to 200 people outdoors following the revised guidance from New York State. And okay, so we need to remember spectators and staff when planning events, as they must be incorporated into the maximum number. So if there's a ball game, if there is a arts and crafts or a vegetable fair or something like that, it's up to 200 people outdoors, okay? When they have testing and vaccinations, you can have up to 150 people indoors and up to 500 people outdoors. It is still not clear how you're going to monitor that and what those numbers would be if you have vaccinated and unvaccinated people. And then, of course, social distancing, 3 feet now required by the CDC, and face coverings are still required. I would point out that there are new guidance and restrictions with respect to travelers coming in and out of the state. So you are kindly referred to the New York State Department of Health website for that. Any questions? Okay. FEMA update. Good news is that New York State Department of Homeland Security has kicked in with their portion for Marion Avenue Culvert in the amount of $1,963.93, which is great. And then for the labor and equipment that we expended on the day of the time of the storm, they have kicked in $4,434.33. So that's also good news. Also, with regards to FEMA, we are awaiting the final review of the engineering report for Pump Station 2 because the initial quotes that FEMA had provided were much lower than was required for the pump to be fixed, so we had to submit the report again. We are looking at time extensions, as I mentioned to Roger. All the projects under FEMA need to be finished by June. I believe it's June 19th. Anything that will run over that time, we need to file an extension. So the first one is pretty much automatic, and we would be looking for that for the water main that was uncovered during the Halloween storm. And as per Roger, we will be looking at, just to give us some wiggle room, for the beach, the park, and Marion Avenue. And then we would have to see, once Pump Station 2 has been approved, what the timeline for that would be. Any questions, comments on that? Okay. FEMA COVID update. We have received some clarifications from FEMA needed for filing our claims, and we are working with Roger and Tracy in that regard to provide them. Verizon small cells, we are so close. Poles and electric are in place at both the SVAC and the pavilion, and we are still awaiting the installation of the antenna, and we are still awaiting their plans for installing their revised tower height at the on top of Oak Mountain, as well as putting in a generator. And I know that this has been applied for and gone through a number of times, but I'm hoping that this time we can do it for the win. No update on the fire tower. LED streetlights. We are at week 6 since they received our check for the streetlights. If you'll recall, we sent them a check on the 29th of December, 2020. That was directed to the wrong account. It was corrected on February 5th, and that triggered 6 to 8 weeks for National Grid to give us a time to replace our streetlights. They have run into some delays with materials due to COVID, and they should have contacted me today as per the email and phone follow-up from Joe Pallone with National Grid, but I have not received that notification by the time of this meeting. So stay tuned on that. Septic systems, erosion and regulations. There is a follow-up meeting planned this week with Soil and Water. Thank you, Trustee Doniker, for setting that up. We will be arranging to meet with representatives from LPSA for their input into those regulations. And we are also looking at and communicating with Supervisor Wilt in the town of Arietta to see what they have done locally, to see if there's anything that we need to consider for our own regulations. So at that point, I'll just turn it over to Mark. Is there anything else you would like to add for that?
I sent the resolution and the addendum to the septic laws to Caitlin and Lenny. Ask them to review it, and we'll set up a Zoom meeting for next week, give them a chance to review, see what their comments are, and then we can address those and send it to the LPSA board and get their comments. But I think we're consistent with LPSA on what they want to do, reading a couple of their emails. So I think we're in good shape. And then we'll have a resolution for that, and I can start working on soil erosion.
Great, and we will put that out for a general hearing as well, because we want to make sure that people are involved and they do have an opportunity to comment. Any questions or comments from the board on any of the old business?
No.
Okay. The only little bit of new business is the wildlife nuisance permit. I did contact DEC. I believe her name is Amanda Stickles in the wildlife division. They have granted us a wildlife nuisance permit for the removal of Canadian geese on the beachfront, Tunney Park, and the ball field. Last year, we did not identify anyone who was willing to execute that permit, but this year I've identified 3 people. One is Rob Huslin, one is Ken Kurt, and the third is Jim Swanson, all of Lake Pleasant, who have said that they would be willing to do that. They will be following the guidelines within the DEC permit. I will be contacting all residences, including the Lake Pleasant Inn, that are within 500 feet of the beach, the park, and the ball field, as per the requirements. That permit runs from April 1st until August 31st and is strictly limited to the beachfront, to Tunney Park, and the ball field. Are there any questions, comments regarding that? No.
So what method will they use to get rid of the geese?
We would be, one of the methods is shotgun, that would be required. And there are trapping methods, although I don't believe the people on the permit have that at their disposal at present. So they would trap them and
Would all 3 be involved then?
yes, they would coordinate. They would coordinate, and most likely the removal of geese would take place very early in the morning when the geese tend to land in the beginning. And, they can't do it when there are people around and when that would be a danger. And they use shotguns because the trajectory of the shotgun does not go as far as other tools.
Yeah, they're only allowed to use the lake. They can't go down the river or anything like that. So
Correct. So they have to fire from the park and from the beach and from the ball field.
there's about 60 geese that left last year that were creating quite a nuisance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's a health situation as well, especially when there were the concerts at the point and people on the beach. It really was quite disgusting and very difficult to control because there's not enough things that you can do to rake up that stuff, and putting out plastic swans to deter the geese. They get savvy pretty quickly.
Also at the public beach, the fecal coliforms could rise dramatically and close the beach. So something has to be done.
Correct.
Well, it's good it's in place so it can happen.
Yes. So I am submitting their names, Rob, Ken, and Jim, to the DEC tomorrow morning, and they will have a permit with them. And again, I will notify people accordingly. Okay?
Yep.
All right, is there any other new business? I would like the board to know that our next business meeting will be quite long because we'll have the organizational meeting along with the regular business meeting. So plan accordingly. Okay, board roundtable. Is there anything that anyone wants to bring to the board's attention? I do. A notice of claim has been filed against the village in regards to the water main break near the King of the Frosties property, and the matter has been referred to our insurance company for follow-up. That's all I have. Okay. Hearing no more roundtable items, I'll open it up for public comments. Any public comment for those online? Okay, hearing none, we will close public comment. There is a matter for executive session regarding a disciplinary matter regarding one of our employees. So at this time, I would like a motion to enter executive session to discuss this matter.
So moved.
Okay, Rebecca, second.
Mark.
Mark Doniker, any questions, comments? Hearing none, we will dismiss the public at this time and enter executive session. We are waiting for Katie Smith to call in. Is she on the line?